It's time for Sunday school. Magical Sunday school. What I've got here is a version of the fire elemental tablet. At least it was called the fire elemental tablet by modern Enochian magicians such as the Golden Dawn and Aleister Crowley. But for Dee and Kelley, this table was only identified by that symbol right there. But it will not be illogical to look at this tablet as being the elemental tablet of fire. Now, when Dee and Kelley first got this information, eventually the tablet ended up looking sort of like this. It wasn't colored, but it was lettered in English letters like that. And so you can see in the Grand Cross area there it says OIP. OIP Tiaa Podeke there in the center. Why am I showing you this? Because after the Golden Dawn and Aleister Crowley got a hold of this, they applied the most anal retentive hermetic logic to subdividing each of those letters in perfect, beautiful Yod-He Vav-He permutation order. Now this is that same tablet. You can see it's kind of predominantly red, which means it, of course, is the fire tablet. But like I showed you before, when seen from different angles, you can see predominantly red, blue, yellow, and green sections for those sub-angles as we see there. We're going to talk a lot about this today and how this came from that or that. So, excuse me while I put this all back. Here we go. Chapter 23. For all of my Discordian sisters and brothers, 23. 23 skidoo. The great table meets the golden talisman. The angels of the four angles shall make the earth open unto you, and shall serve your necessities from the four parts of the earth. That was the angel Ave, and we remember Ave came off of the Siculum Deo Meth. Ave's right on here. July 2nd, 1584. This is getting very, very close to the end of Dee and Kelley's angelic workings. Recall from chapter 19 that the vision of the golden talisman revealed four castles from which flowed four cloths of different colors. Out of each castle, marching in procession, came one trumpeter, 3 ensign bearers, 6 seniors, and 1 king. The king was followed by 5 men who held up his train, and 5 crosses, 1 great cross surrounded by 4 lesser crosses that floated in the air above them. Each of the 4 lesser crosses had on them, each of them 10, like men, their faces distinctly appearing on the 4 parts of the cross all over. And here is the example of one of those. Floor cloths, 1 trumpeter, 3 ensign bearers, 6 seniors, the king, the 5 princes, the 5 crosses in ye air, and 16 dispositors. These images and characters provide, at least partially, the key to the divine hierarchy of the Great Table. And when we're talking about the Great Table, we're talking about all four of what we now call the elemental tablets, joined together in the center by the letters Ex Harp Hacem Ananta Bitum, so each of those quarter sections would represent an element, but the cross itself would represent spirit which rules them. Excuse all my digressions. I have to sort of... This hierarchy represents spiritual forces that govern not only the phenomenal universe, but also heaven. Let's take a moment and project the vision of the golden talisman upon the Great Table. The four castles. The castles are obviously the four watchtowers or the elemental tablets themselves, and the rest of the characters in the vision represent the angelic hierarchy resident in each tablet. These angels can be called forth and visited in vision by intoning one or more of the first 18 calls to activate the elemental tablet and the specific area of the tablet where they reside. We'll talk about that later. I'll show you how this is done in the appendix. First, let's see how the cast of characters from the Golden Talisman fit on the individual elemental tablets. For purposes of illustration, I will use the elemental tablet of fire. Oh, incidentally, that would be the Ace of Wands, if we're thinking in tarot terms. Okay. For the purpose of illustration, I'll use the elemental tablet of fire, the lower right quarter of the Reformed Great Table as our model. And just to that would be a blow up of it. We're just going to use this as a model because the same divisions of the hierarchy are the same on all four tablets. First, the Trumpeter. The Trumpeter. One Trumpeter. The first character to issue from the castles was the Trumpeter. The Trumpeters are the great seal of the tablet. There's your Trumpeter. I got your Trumpeter right there, mister. Okay, that's for fire. The one for water will be one of those other symbols. Next in line, I'll put this down there. Next in line are the three ensign bearers. Okay, hang on. The three ensign bearers. And they're going to be found right there. Do you see how I've highlighted the central horizontal line? And there's a name of 3 letters, followed by a name of 4 letters, followed by a name of 5 letters. At the top of the hierarchical ladder of each elemental tablet are the 3 ensign bearers who represent the 3 great secret names of God. These names appear in the center horizontal row of the great cross that divides the elemental tablet. This cross is made up of 2 vertical columns that bisect, let's see here, that bisect the tablet into left and right, the left column called the line of the Father, and the right column is called the line of the Son. And the horizontal element of this cross is the single center row that bisects the tablet from top to bottom, called the line of the Holy Ghost. So, left and right are line of the Father and the Son, and the horizontal one is the line of the Holy Ghost. Dee and Kelley, well, I guess I'll continue to hold this up. Dee and Kelley were told that the three ensign bears were the representatively of the nature of 3, 4, and 5. This means that the three great secret names of God are spelled using the first 3 letters, the next 4 letters, and the final 5 letters of the center horizontal row of the central cross. In the case of the fire tablet, these letter combinations are OIP, TEAA, and PDOCE. Oip tia podeke. Sounds sort of Italian. If there was any doubt to the angel's meaning concerning the 4 sets of the 3 great secret names of God, they thoughtfully provided a round diagram with all 12 names neatly represented as ensign flags surrounding a center quartered square. In that diagram, all the letters of the names appeared in uppercase letters OIP, TEAA, and PDOCE. The 3 great secret names of God of all the 4 elemental tablets are found in Appendix 4. Next in our hierarchical thing will be the 6 seniors. Next came the 6 seniors. While there's little specific indication in the surviving documents that would suggest the 6 seniors carry planetary attributions, it is nonetheless a logical assumption. It was made by the adepts of the Golden Dawn and is made by most modern practitioners. For clarity of reference and for the duration of our discussion, I will adopt the modern planetary designation given to the seniors. Okay, see, we got 6 seniors, and that's how their names are drawn. From the very center of the cross, the pair going up, a pair going down, and the pair going up is Jupiter and Mars, or Jupiter and the Moon. The pair going down are Mercury and Saturn. The one starting in the center and going to the right is Venus, and to the left, Mars. The 6, as Lon said, the 6 seniors of each of the elemental tablets are found on the great central cross of each tablet. The 7-letter names of the 6 seniors radiate from the center 2 letters of the cross to its extremities. On the elemental tablet of fire, the 6 seniors are AAETPIO for Mars, ADOEOET for Jupiter, ALNDVOD for Luna, AAPDOCE for Venus, ARINNA for Saturn, and ANODOIN for Mercury. In subsequent references to the seniors, such as in lists and prayers, D would standardize the capitalization of the names of the elemental tablets. In our example, AAETPIO and ADOEOET ALNDVOD, AAPDOCE, and ARINNA, and finally ANODOIN. Is that irritating you? It must have irritated them because I didn't answer. In subsequent references to the seniors, such as in lists and prayers, Dee would standardize the capitalization of the names. The names of the seniors of all the 4 elemental tablets are found in Appendix 4. In Kelley's vision of the Golden Talisman, the 6 seniors from each of the 4 castles march to the center and meet pillars that support, as it were, the entire structure. Just to recall, there's those pillars. This image is suggestive of 24 elders who surround the throne of God in the book of the Revelation of John. The 24 seniors together are represented in the golden talisman as the 24 columns that ring the center circle of the talisman. There is a 7th planetary senior who is attributed to the sun. Just as the sun is the central king of our solar system, so too is the sun senior identified as the king and found in the center of each elemental tablet. So that's the next in line, one king, and there's how his name is arrived at. Now, his name can be spelled in 2 different ways. At least the last letter of the name can be spelled in 2 different ways. One when we're working with powers of judgment, and one if we're working with the same powers but for mercy. Now you'll notice that I've got a little dotted line there. When you use it for one, the line of the swirl ends on that first day, and when you use it for the other, the line ends on the second day. DuQuette said it better right here. Like the sun, which attracts and holds the planets in orbit, the king of each elemental tablet is said to summon and direct the seniors for heavenly duties. When those duties are of a merciful nature, the king spells his name a bit differently than when the duties are of severity and judgment. Like those of the 6 seniors, the 7 letters of the king's name are drawn entirely from the great central cross, the lines of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost of the elemental tablet. Beginning with the 5th letter from the left in the horizontal line of the Holy Ghost, the name is spelled out in a clockwise whirl that ends in one of the 2 squares that occupies the center of the cross, either at the 6th letter from the left for operations of mercy, or the 7th letter from the left for operations of judgment. In the case of the elemental tablet of fire, maybe I should have used another example. In the case of the elemental tablet of fire, the letters that hold those positions are both A's, so as both names are Edelperna. I guess you'd express it Edelperna or Edelperna. Perhaps my use of the elemental tablet of fire is not the best example to illustrate how the name of the king is formed by a clockwise whirl, because the resulting names are the same. The other 3 elemental tablets yield distinctively different names. The names of all the kings of the 4 elemental tablets are found in Appendix 4. The 5 crosses, what time have we got here? Yeah. the 5 crosses, 1 great cross and 4 lesser crosses. Okay. First of all, the next thing in line was the 5 princes. And those 5 princes are the quarters themselves. The cross is 1 great prince, and then we've got each of the quarters. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's the princes, at least, have been determined to be those landmarks in the cross. Now we're at the landmarks of the tablet. Now we're ready for the 5 crosses. That's next. Now, do you see how I've highlighted the crosses in each of the quarters? Those are called Calvary Crosses. There's 4 of those and 1 great cross in the center. And that's, that's those guys. Each of the 4 quarters form the great central cross is a triangle, or a rectangle, 5 squares wide by 6 squares high. These quadrants are often referred to in modern Enochian magic as lesser angles or sub-angles. Just as the Reformed Great Table positions the air tablet of air in its upper left, water in its upper right, earth in its lower left, and fire in its lower right quadrants, so too each sub-angle is assigned one of the 4 elements and positioned on its elemental tablet in the same way. So it's easier to see it this way. See, now when you put 4 of these tablets all together to make the great tablet, the air tablet is placed in the upper left, and the water tablet's placed in the upper right, and the earth tablet's placed in the lower left, and the fire tablet's placed in the lower right, just like the sub-angles of each of the elemental tablets. Each of the 4 sub-angles is dominated by a Calvary cross made of 10 squares. 10 men in the visions of the golden talisman, which form the 2 god names of the sub-angle. Okay, I'll find a sub-angle here. So each of the Calvary crosses have 2 god names, one reading the cross vertically and one reading the arms of the cross horizontally. The name drawn from the 6 letters of the vertical column of the cross, read from top to bottom, was said to summon the angels of the sub-angle, and the 5-letter god name of the horizontal bar of the cross, read from left to right, was said to command them. And figure 79 shows the god name Rizenor and Nirzifim from the fire sub-angle, the lower right quadrant. And that's figure 78, which is right there. And because this is such a specialized part of this, I'm going to give it particular attention starting tomorrow. So that's where we're going. Oh, what happened? No, that's where we're going to end today. But just to finish up that, talking about the 16 depositors at the very end, dispositors, those guys that came marching out. See where the arrows are pointing? Those are the dispositors, 4 per each subangle. Now those are angels in and of themselves. And they have a ruler too. And their ruler, their captain, if you will, is found in the 4 letters above the arms of the cross. So these are like the sergeant, and these are like the privates. And tomorrow we're going to discover not only how the sergeant and the privates disport themselves, we'll see how that if you shuffle the names of the sergeant, that sergeant rules 16 other privates whose names are shuffled in the same order that the sergeant's name is shuffled. There's a lot of angels. In the elemental tablets. And they have a very, very universal application that the Golden Dawn was kind enough to show us how they match up hermetically with all sorts of things. And before I put this away, this is the Ace of Wands. This is the Ace of Wands. The subangles would represent the King, Queen, Prince, and Princess of Wands. Just like Knight of Wands. There's the subangle. Queen of Wands. There's the subangle. Prince of Wands. There's the subangle. Princess of Wands. And there's the subangle of Earth. Okay, I hope that's food for thought. We'll talk absolutely more about this tomorrow. I've just been informed by the publisher of the newest edition of Tarot of Ceremonial Magic, which is where those images came from, that the entire first printing of that, first edition of it from Magical Omaha, has nearly sold out, and it has gone into second printing, which is very gratifying, and I'm very relieved that it's been so well accepted. It's a beautiful version, and if you're interested in it, please visit Magical Omaha. That's the name of the publisher, Magical Omaha. But anyway, which is wonderful because I'm from Nebraska. Anyway, enough of this Sunday school talk. Class dismissed. Go do something fun. Take off your shoes and go fishing. Actually, the Lord bless you. The Lord enlighten your minds and comfort your hearts and sustain your bodies. The Lord bring you to the accomplishment of your true wills, the great work, the summum bonum, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. See you tomorrow.